and welcome to the 20th episode of my knitting podcast. The 20th episode, I'm so happy to have you here. I hope you are comfortable where you are, I hope you're relaxed, I hope you have your favorite knitting project on your needles and you're just chilling out with me. I'm gonna try to chill out with you today. I had a bit of a, not like rush morning, but I want to say I've been busy. I've tried to get some nice pictures for the intro, and yeah, I've been preparing little things around the house, so I just made myself a second cup of coffee that I'm gonna enjoy with you guys. I'm drinking that out of the lovely mug that I got in the Summer Solstice box by Woolly Mammoth Fiber Company. She normally does advent calendars, but this year she's skipping that and she's doing like themed boxes. So she had a spring box, a summer box, she just sold the autumn box I believe, and yeah, she's gonna have the winter box as well. It's a lovely box, it comes with a lovely, like the summer solstice box that I purchased had a lovely mini skein set and full skein and a little illustration that you can see here that I have over there, and a scented candle, and this beautiful mug. This is made by Laura Boyd and it's really lovely. I've talked about that before. Yeah, but just in case you're interested. Yeah, before I start talking about my knitting stuff, let's just talk briefly about what happened over the last month. I will put timestamps down below, so if you want to skip that, go ahead. Yeah, last month has been incredibly busy. Actually, like the last few months, a lot of stuff happened in my private life that I don't really want to share on social media here. But it was quite challenging times, and it is slowly like settling down a bit. So yeah. And then the other thing was that work was quite busy, going back 100%. During the summertime, I knew it was going to be challenging, but yeah, being back on earlies in a full summer roster was like quite a bit. It's nice to be back, I'm not gonna complain. It's absolutely great that we finally can work a little bit more, but yeah, early mornings in like a full summer roster can be challenging. I usually bid for early, so in the company I work for we can make bids, and I prefer working early just because I feel like I have the day for me. So once I finished work around lunchtime, 2-3 o'clock, I can come home and then that's it for the day. I can relax, I can switch off, and I don't feel like I'm waiting to go to work. Even though now at the moment, when I come back, I'm usually so tired that I'd go for a nap straight away and then just have lunch, or sorry, dinner, and then go back to sleep again. So yeah, I didn't have much knitting time, and the things that I knitted are actually mostly very mindless, but yeah, I have a few things that I can show you, so let's start with that. Today I am wearing the feldspar tee, before I forget that. So this is a pattern by Herbgarden Knitwear. Lovely Hanna, she designed that for the, I think it's the Interweave magazine, so it was available for free for a little while, but now it's available for purchase on Ravelry and I think on their website as well. I will link you down the pattern page if you're interested. It's a really lovely pattern. I'm just gonna stand up. So I knitted it quite, made it a bit shorter. In the last episode I talked about it. That's how I like to wear it, just with my mum jeans. It's a bit cropped and I really love it. I've been wearing it quite a lot lately. Yesterday we went out for dinner and I had it on, and it's just like, it's nice, it's like perfect for an English summer. Let's be honest, there hasn't been much summertime here and it's been, yeah, nice to have a warmer summer top, since hasn't been warm much. Like maybe I think we had like 2 weeks of really like a heat wave. I think last time when I recorded was one of the warmer days, but yeah, not so much anymore. I used the Milburn Decay by Eden Cottage yarns. It's a really lovely yarn. It's one of my favorites, I want to say. The colorway is called Bramble. Yeah, really happy with that. Can only recommend it if you are looking for a very simple but nice tee. Let's just briefly talk about the summer knit along that I'm running at the moment. And literally just before I started recording, I had like an idea and I hope you like the idea, but I thought about making the knit along a little bit longer, just so you have the chance to enter in case you haven't yet, and also because the summer has been really cold over here and I feel like there was not much motivation to knit that many summer things, so I thought to make it 10 days longer until the let's call it the 10th of September. That means you just have a little bit more time to finish your summer teas. I know some of you have been like struggling a bit or have been like rushing, so I'm just gonna give you a little bit more time basically. I hope you don't mind the ones that I've finished already, but maybe you can finish another one. So yeah, feel free to enter with a second top if you want. The knit along is all about summer tops, so any kind of summer t-shirt top, anything short sleeved, basically. I'm not really that strict. It's more like a inspiration for you to maybe think about knitting, so that you can like maybe knit summer tops instead of sweaters all the time. And I know quite a few of you have actually found that like an inspiration, and it's been really great to see your summer tops popping up on Ravelry. I will insert a few pictures at the end of the episode, and I will try to include all the pattern names and designer names, and obviously your Ravelry names as well. If yours is not in there, it's solely because I haven't gotten the permission yet from you to share it, so I will show it in the next episode, I promise. If you would like to have yours showcased in this episode or in my knitting podcast, just drop me a message on Ravelry and then I will add this into the next episode. The knit along is not only like an inspiration, but there's also there are some really nice prizes at the end. There's actually some more, so I'm just gonna just list them so very briefly again, so you have an idea what you could win if you would participate. The first prizes are, so it's not a ranking. They're like just quite a few prizes, and I'm just gonna pick different winners. So one prize is a pattern by Herbgarden Knitwear. Lovely Hanna, she sponsored one pattern of hers, so you will be able to choose any kind of pattern you like from her library. Lily Kate did the same, so she's the designer from the Poisoned Apple Top that I've knitted before, and another one, I can't remember. Yeah, the Lytham sweater that I knitted as well. And I'm actually knitting another Poisoned Apple Top that I'm just going to show you in a minute. But yeah, she also gifted one pattern of her Ravelry library, one of her designs. And then I have another pattern that you can win, so that is the Canopy Tank by the Bluebird box. Anna was so kind to gift this pattern to one of you guys. And then the next one is the project bag that I made myself, that you can see over here. I've got the same one here that I'm using, so I'm just going to show it to you. So that's the one. It's a project bag that I made after a YouTube video from Erica Arndt. I'll link it down below as well, so you can have a look at it. And it's what's special about it? Yeah, there's like a little pocket inside, like a little thing where you can hang your stitch markers. So that's made by myself. Quite a few hours of work went into that. So I hope you like it. The next prize is a physical prize as well. So actually I'm going to combine these two. So this one will come with the next one as well. So these are lovely stitch markers that I got sent by, the shop is called Stricken ohne Naht. It's the shop from Irina Heyman, and she sponsored these stitch markers. They're actually my favorite ones, these light bulb stitch markers. I really like them. And yeah, they're really nicely presented. So they will go into the project bag. And what else? Yeah, and then the last prize is the ball winder. I'm just gonna grab it for you. So there we go. That's the ball winder. This one is sponsored by Knit Pro. They were so kind to send one of their nature ball winders. This big one. This one can take up to 450 grams of yarn. That's quite a lot. It's like, even the bigger skeins will fit on that, and you can just secure it down to the table. I don't have that now here. I purchased one for myself, and this one is a gift for you guys, so I'm really thankful for Knit Pro. They were so kind to give that one to one of you. So you see, there's a lot of nice things that you can win. Let's place it back here. And I hope that is motivation enough for you to, yeah, maybe hurry up and knit a summer top until the 10th of September. I hope you like that this is going to be a little bit longer. I was watching Magda from Magda Knits, and she was saying she was like hurrying up to finish hers, so I'll send her a message straight after recording to tell her that she can just relax and then she can finish it up until the 10th. And I hope you guys, maybe some of you have been feeling rushed a bit, so I think it's just fair enough to make it a bit longer. Yeah, that's all about the knit along. As I said, I will insert some pictures and some inspiration at the end, so if you want to see them, just make sure you watch the end, the last few minutes. The first finished object is not with me. It is a lovely hat that I made from a pattern. The hat pattern is called Hat 1005 by Lamana. Lamana is, I think it's a German company, and they make really lovely yarn. Let me just grab it. So this is all I've got left. I used the Lamana Perler. I used a bit more than 1.5 skeins balls. So these are 50 gram balls, and I think I have this is less than 20 grams. It's really lovely actually. So the quality is 60% cotton, 25% alpaca, and 15% silk. And the stitch definition is really amazing. I loved it. You'll be able to see it on the pictures. It really looks great, I'll be honest. The pattern itself was really nice as well. You have to purl a lot, so if you don't like purling, this might not be for you. But it's really easy to follow. Perfect, just like it was fairly mindless as well. Just a little stitches pattern was easy to remember. In this flew off my needles. I think I had it done within 2 or 3 days. Really, I think I'm gonna make another one. Yeah, it's a unisex pattern. I think there's only one size in the pattern, if I remember right. It's a free pattern as well. So if you want to have a look at it, it's yeah, I would do it again. The second finished object, and that's actually 2. And before I'm gonna say the name, I'm just gonna say I'm well aware that I didn't say the name right in the last episode. So the Dandelion, I hope that's correct now, the Dandelion cardigan by Along avec Anna. Yeah, I really like that one. You remember this one that I showed you in the last episode? You can't really see the stitch pattern from far away, but it's got like this little flower stitch pattern on the body, and I really liked it. And I thought I'm gonna make like a baby version as well. So that's what I did, but this time I skipped the stitch pattern on the body just because I didn't want to concentrate. Like, I just wanted something mindless. It was literally just up and down, simple stockinette, and I really liked it. So that's number 1. And because I liked it so much, so this number 1, it's got uneven sleeves because I couldn't be asked at that time to match them, but nobody cares, so you won't be able to see that. And then number 2 is actually more finished than number 1 because it's already got the buttons on there. And on the second one, I actually made sure that the sleeves are matching, so they're exactly the same. I made the first one and I meant to give it away, and then my partner said, "Oh, that's so lovely. If we're ever gonna have kids, are you gonna keep it?" I was like, "Oh well, you know what? Actually, yes, I'm gonna do that." So I kept that one. No, we're not having kids now. But if whenever we're gonna have some, this is like unisex enough to maybe even have for a girl. And yeah, that's the one that I kept. I still need to get buttons for the first one. On the second one I used some buttons, so I was looking for something on Facebook Marketplace, and I saw that lady that was selling her button collection, like a secondhand button collection, all like different buttons, and she had like a selection of these pearly buttons, so I went and picked them up. They were really nice, but unfortunately I didn't find another 5 matching ones, and I like matching buttons, I'll be honest, so I will just have to go to a shop and buy 5 matching buttons for the first one that I knitted. This one is the 6-month-old size. I went up a needle size from that one, so this one I knitted in 3.5 millimeters, and this one I knitted in 4, just because I feel like the fabric is just a little less dense, a bit more flowy, and I think I'm far away from the gauge. I didn't check for gauge, I'll be honest. It's like for baby and children's stuff, I don't gauge swatch. The yarn that I used is the, let me just read it, it's the Rico Design Rico Baby Dream Decay. The colorway 6 is the one that I used for these ones. Turquoise it's called, I believe. I used exactly, and when I say exactly, I mean like to the last little bit, 2 balls for each cardigan. So it's really affordable. The yarn is nice and soft. You can just easily wash it. Perfect for all new moms. I think at the beginning you might not have that time. I know in the last episode I asked you guys what you think. Some people of you said, "Oh, superwash yarn, I wouldn't bother knitting it." But a lot of you guys actually said that you would appreciate even a hand knitted garment for a baby in superwash, just because you can so easily wash it. So guess what, my knitting friend will receive this superwash one, and I think she's gonna like it. If not, she can maybe give it to a non-knitter friend. No, I'm only joking. I know she's gonna like it. That would be alright. Yeah, these are all my finished objects, I believe. So let's start with the whips. The first whip is actually living in this bag that I kept one for myself. So this is the Poisoned Apple Top. That's the pattern by Lily Kate. I test knitted that one for her before it came out, and I gave my first one to my oldest sister. So I'll insert a picture here so you can just have a look at it. It was a lovely yellow one and I really loved that one. But I needed a present for my sister and I knew that she would love it. So yeah, I actually very often give away stuff like hand knitted things because I have planned, normally I plan to make something for myself. And then whilst I'm knitting it, I'm thinking, oh my god, this would be looking lovely on this or that person. And then very often I change my mind and give it away. So I don't keep that many things for myself. But I really like the Poisoned Apple Top. It was one of my favorite things that I've ever knitted. And I thought I'm gonna make one for myself. And there we go. I chose a white, I know, hand knitting. So hand knitting something in white. I'm really, I'm scared every time I sit on the couch to knit with it when I have like a glass of wine or so with me. But so far, touch wood, there we go, it worked out fine. So I have actually finished yesterday night the second sleeve, and now all I've got to do is the neckline and the rest of the body, and that will fly off my needles, I know that. The reason why, so basically it's constructed from top down and it has you knitting the body first and then you knit the sleeves and the neckline. The reason why I did the sleeves first is that I wasn't sure whether I had just enough yarn. It would be enough, but I really wanted to make sure to use it all up, and therefore what I did is I decided to knit the sleeves first. I'm going to do the neckline next, and then I can just knit the body as long as I can until I run out of yarn, and that should be working out perfectly. This time I knitted one size smaller than last time. So last time when I test knitted I went for size 3. This time I'm using I'm knitting size number 2, just because I like the look on some other tested that was really like fitted, so I thought, well, I could achieve that as well. The other thing that I did, and it's probably not really that smart to do that in hindsight, I should have like maybe only gone for one thing, but I also went down one needle size. So last time I used 4mm and this time I'm using 3.75mm. And I did that because I really wanted to get like this shape of the sleeves and to get the fabric a bit denser and get a bit more structure in them. I went for a smaller needle size just because of that. I'm well aware of the fact that it's not only going to be one size smaller but also smaller because I used a smaller needle. But then that said, 0.25mm shouldn't make a huge difference. I know that it will make a difference, and it should be good motivation to get these extra kilos off that I have yeah, worked on during the last month. I'm really due to get back into yeah, working out regularly. Last month I've been a bit lazy, I want to say, but that's okay as well. That's just how it is. Nothing too horrendous. But as for the first one, for this one I'm using the Milburn DK. This is a lovely yarn by Eden Cottage Yarns. I went for the natural one. It's got like a really natural white. I was hoping it would be a bit like striking white, like a colder white. It's actually quite a warm white. Yeah, it's alright. I think I'm gonna, well, I really love the pattern, so the color will grow on me, I believe. I think I said it before, but I'm a big lover of like plain stockinette. It's just, I find it soothing and amazing. Just to, this is like my sort of relaxation, when I can just sit down and literally just knit in the round. A few decreases, that's alright. But I love just plain stockinette. I know some people really don't like that, but I am a bit different in that regard. The next whip that I've got on my needles is something that I'm just going to show very briefly. That is just my personal vanilla sock that I'm knitting. And I started knitting that, and it's taking a little bit longer this time because I'm actually writing down the different steps so I can film a tutorial for you. Oh, can you hear my stomach? I'm hungry. Yeah, you asked, or I asked you if you would be interested in a tutorial, so and a lot of you said yes, so I am just preparing that. So this is a shorty vanilla sock that I'm knitting for myself at the moment. As you can tell, it's got a really high instep, and that's just because, or like a high heel flap, and that's because that's what I need. I really need a lot of space for my ankle. Yeah, there you go. It is the lovely yarn that I've been inspired by Gabrielle from the Merryweather Knitting podcast. It's the Regia Cotton Color Tutti Frutti. It's like a self-striping yarn, and yeah, 72% cotton, 18% polyamide and 10% polyester. That make it really like a more like a summer sock, and therefore I went for shorties. So I'm literally just have to finish the toe. So I'll sit down and write that down one day, and then once I have that finished, I will work on a long sock, like a normal sock, not a shorty. We'll do that as well, and then I will eventually sit down and film the whole process. So it will be a little while, I believe. That's just like a little side project that I've got on my needles, and when it's ready, it will be ready and you'll be able to see it. But yeah, very not spectacular, I'm afraid. The next work in progress is actually, I haven't worked much on it, and before I'm going to show you, well, let me just grab it. Yeah, so before I'm going to show you my my swatch, I'm just going to talk briefly about the designer. You might have noticed when you started watching the video, it says a paid promotion, and actually it's just a sponsored really promotion, so I haven't received any money for whatever I have showed you on this episode. And I have been contacted by Irina Hemann. She's the designer behind Stricken, ohne Naht, and she is also the one who sponsored these stitch markers for the knit along. And she asked me if I would be interested in knitting one of her patterns, and she kindly also gifted me the yarn for that. So she sent me 5 of these hangs from, it's Herbgarden Studio Linen, like 50-gram hangs. I've got another few here on the pile, and then I've got one already wound up, not that nicely wound up, not with my, haven't done that with my new ball winder. That was before I received the ball winder. Yeah, so this is the Studio Linen by Herbgarden, and that has got 85% viscose and 50% linen. But the interesting thing about this yarn is actually that, let me just have a look at my notes. Yeah, so 85% of the viscose is actually recycled linen. So it's quite a sustainable yarn. Only 15% of like new linen, and it's been blended together and then made to this really interesting yarn. It's different from what I'm used to, and I'll be very honest, like when I got the yarn I was wondering whether it would be really that soft, but once knitted up it really creates a really beautiful fabric. It's got an amazing stitch definition really, and a really nice sheen to it. Like the texture is like, it's got like a dry feel, but this really impressive sheen to it, and I was worried a bit that it would be splitting, because when you see like the ends to the yarn you can see all the little plies, but once you're knitting it, it's knitting up really nicely. I didn't split it, I think, no, not once it happened to me on that swatch, so I'm really looking forward to starting the Loretuch, and that's the design that she gave me. Yeah, so that's my little swatch. I'm still thinking whether I should go for the smaller needle size or the bigger one. The bigger one actually, so I used, what was it? I think I can't remember now. I think I used 3.5 millimeters, yeah, 3.5 millimeters and 4 millimeters for the swatch. And I'm not too sure yet whether I will go for the bigger size or the smaller size. The bigger size is actually matching gauge, so I'll probably go for that one, the 4 millimeters. The other thing about Irina's shop, so Irina, she is a knitwear designer from Germany, and she's not only just like a lot of knitwear designers on Ravelry, and well, just they do it like a second career, but Irina has studied fashion design and is like specialized into knitwear, so she's been really she's like a real professional in that, and all of her designs are seamless. So the name of her company, Stricken ohne Naht, means actually knitting seamlessly, and that's what her designs stand for. So all the tops that you can see in her Ravelry store and all the shawls are knitted seamlessly, and that's one of her design features. And the other thing that she really focuses on is having sustainable yarn in her shop. So she's not only having a Ravelry store where you can buy her patterns, but she's also got a store, online store, where you can buy yarn and haberdashery, so buttons and accessories, needle cases I saw, yeah. And most of her yarn is like GOT certified, so that's got like a sustainable certification, and that one as well. So this one is 85% recycled linen, and it's the first time for me to work with recycled linen, so it's really different. It's got a really different touch to it, but I'm actually really loving, and I'm not saying that because I've been gifted that, but I really like the texture of the swatch, and I'm looking forward to knit that. I will probably cast on within the next few days. I just wanted to finish a few things, so I just finished the cardigans, and I think I'm going to finish the poisoned apple top before I cast on something new. And I chose wooden needles because we're going on a trip to Germany in a few weeks, and I didn't know whether we would be flying or not, but I thought in case we're flying I'm gonna use wooden needles, so I can definitely take them with me on board of the aircraft. Think ahead, think wisely, especially when it comes to travel knitting. Yeah, so the pattern that I'm gonna knit is the Loretuch. I'll insert you a picture. It's like a DK weight. Oh, it's a shawl knit out of DK weight yarn, and it's available in English and German, and it's got like really nice geometric shapes, but again it's all knitted with short rows, and therefore it's supposed to be. I can't tell you yet, but I think it's going to be like a really fun and interesting. It's not going to be like just boring long rows with nothing happening. So it will take a little bit of concentration, I believe, especially in the beginning when you set it up, but it's going to be like a nice change to what I'm normally knitting. So I'm curious how this is going to be, and if you would like to knit one as well, she actually gave me, generously, she gave me a 10% discount code for her Ravelry store and as well for her website. So you can use the discount code Free Your Sheep, I'll insert it on the screen here, for a 10% discount if you would like to give it a go. And yeah, would be nice if you want to join me in knitting the Loretuch. That would be amazing. We can do like a mini knit along if there's a few people interested in that. I'm really happy to organize a few prizes if you want to, or we can just like enjoy and chat about it in my Ravelry group. So yeah, feel free to send me a message if you're interested as well to cast it on. These are all my whips. Okay, the last one was not really a whip yet. I'm about to cast on. The next part is going to be the acquisitions. I've got a few acquisitions, not like, well, I've got a few acquisitions. I'm not going to say it's not that much, it's actually quite a lot. So let me just grab them. Alright, I'm back. I'll insert links down below, so for everything, if you want to have a look at the yarn that I got. I already had a look before, so the yarn that I bought, there's no link to the shop wallet, but I will find it in a different store, so you can have a look at it, or I will link at least the Ravelry page for the yarn. Some links down below. Not all of them, don't worry, but some links are affiliate links and they're always marked, so I always make sure that I mark them. So the ones with little stars are affiliate links, and I will literally, I think so far I haven't earned a penny. And it's not about earning money, it's just literally if I recommend something, I will get like a tiny little percentage of what you might be spending on, but it's literally just, I will use that money for the podcast and for the cost that I have for the podcast. But yeah, if you want to use these, feel free, don't worry, you are not going to pay more for the stuff that you're buying. It's literally just a little reward for me that I've recommended you to that website. So enough disclosures, let's talk about the yarn that I bought. So I went to a store that it's like a chain store in the south of England. I'm not too sure whether it's only in the south of England, but I know that there are a few around. So it's called, I think, Cloth and Hembling. I'm pretty sure. I'll insert the name here. It's really just the only wool store besides of Hobbycraft that we have around. So I went there a few times now because I need buttons for the Dandelion cardigans. And they had really nice yarn on sale. The first time that I went, I was already like thinking of getting it, and I didn't get it because I didn't have a pattern in mind, and I thought, well, I'm not going to buy just yarn without having a pattern in mind. But then I really thought, like, you know, sometimes you see yarn and then you kind of can't forget about it. So this like sort of like stayed in my mind. I was thinking about this yarn for a little while, and I went back to get more buttons, and I actually decided to just get 2 sweater quantities of this yarn, and it's the really lovely, it's the Local Wool, again by Erica Knight. It's, I don't know why, it's a coincidence again. It's a 100-gram skein hank, if you want to say so, and it's a blend of pure British Blueface Leicester and fine Masham. I think that's how you say it. It is so nice. It is a bit sheepy. It smells sheepy, but it's soft. It's really soft, and I believe so. I think it's like a. I believe yeah, there are 2 plies, and it's a light fingering weight yarn. So 100 grams are 450 meters. But it's so nice and soft, and I believe once knitted up this is going to make a really nice texture. So I got 4 skeins of the rosé one, and then I've got I think 6 hangs of the blue one, so it's going to be for my partner, and then I got 2 of the dark ones because I thought it would be nice to maybe do some color work, and they would have enough contrast, and they too would have enough contrast. So I have no pattern in mind. I actually I'm thinking of coming up with one, just something simple, just to try out a few bits, and I'm really curious how this is going to be working up. I really love the colors, they're amazing, the feel of it is amazing. The smell of it is just beautiful. So this purchase wasn't planned, and I only got them. No, I probably wouldn't have bought that much if it wouldn't have been on sale, but the original price was $12.50, and I got each hang for $6.25, so it was really good bargain. So yeah, I'm looking forward to using that. This is going to be like my autumn stash. The other thing that I got, and actually that came in handy already, so I ordered the denim special collection edition by Knit Pro. I heard about that on a German audio podcast that I sometimes listen to. It's called Der Frickelcast. Yeah, they were talking about it, and they were like talking about these mini needles, and I thought actually this is something that could be interesting for me, because when I knit in the round, when I knit stuff from bottom up, when you join the sleeves and the body, I sometimes struggle just for the first few rounds when you join them, when you join the sleeves and the body, because you have to get around the shape of the arms. You will know what I mean if you've knitted from bottom up already, and especially with long needles it can be really tricky. So these needles are super short, so just so you can see, it's literally like the tip of my finger. They're really short, and I don't think I would knit a whole project with these, no. But I will most probably use them for just joining the sleeves and the body. And I used them already for the Dandelion when I, on the second one, where I joined the sleeve and the body, and it worked so much better. So obviously this is just like a gimmick. You don't necessarily need needles for that. It's literally, I'm a bit needle obsessed, so I'll be honest. I've got needles for everything, in every sort of way. This is, you know, knitting is like the only thing that I really spend money on. Knitting and food. I'm not a big of a clothes shopper. I don't buy that many clothes. I haven't bought clothes for ages, to be honest. Like, I only buy clothes secondhand on a platform called Vinted that you might know. And beside of that, I hardly ever buy clothes. I don't buy shoes. I buy knitting needles and wool. That's what I spend my hard-earned money on. And Indian takeaways. Yeah, so these are really handy. I know that they're hard to get, so you might be able to get them with a few shops in Germany, I believe. I see if I can find a few shops that have them, so you can have a look at them. So for my US viewers, I will find out whether they are available as well from Knitter's Pride. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's a special edition, so they are not available everywhere. The next acquisition is actually a present for some Knitter's friends. So I have a few Knitter's friends that I want to give presents to, and I decided to get them the same sock blocker that I have received from Leah Amber Knits. She gave me this beautiful little sock blocker from her local yarn store, and she told me that they have them available now as well on their website. So I got a few more. These are these little sock blockers, and they come with a pattern for the little sock that you can put on them. And I will send these to a few friends, to a few knitting friends, just as a little, I'm thinking of you. And yeah, I really like the idea. I know I've got another knitting friend, and she saw my sock blocker on my project, and she said, oh, that's really nice. So if you're looking for a nice little something for your knitting friends, I can recommend these. And the last acquisition that I got, I know I'm leaning up and down, up and down. The last acquisition that I got is actually stitch markers. I needed a lot of stitch markers solely because I keep on losing them all. And my favorite ones are the light bulb ones, the same as Irina sponsored for the giveaway. And I decided to get a full box of these because, well, I'm always short of stitch markers. I'm actually quite good in keeping them. I've lost a few, and the other day I was cleaning the couch, I removed all the cushions, and I found a few because they tend to like fall into the gaps. So I have recovered a few as well, but recently I have knitted a few projects where you needed more than just one, and I was short on stitch markers, so yeah. I got this box of stitch markers, of the light bulb stitch markers, and they come in all different colors. Really handy. I shared that one on Instagram, saying I was actually making fun of it because they're a bit like stitch markers are a little bit like hair elastics, right? So you buy a full box or you buy a new pack of hair elastics, and you, after just a few weeks, you realize that none of them are left. I feel the same about stitch markers, so yeah. These are all the acquisitions, and let's talk briefly about a few recommendations that I have for you. So I've already mentioned one. So Magda from Magda Knits, she likes to share a lot of her knitting adventures, but also she does some dyeing. So she dyes her own yarn just for her personal use. She recently started spinning, and she's also really much into gardening. So it's really nice to see what she's up to on her podcast. She's super honest. I like that. You know, some podcasts, and mine is probably sometimes like that, everything is just great and amazing. It's actually not. Like, the big fails we don't tend to share that much. Talking of that, I didn't share a fail in this episode that I wanted to talk about. I'll talk about it in a sec. Yeah, so Magda is really honest, and she shares with you when there's something going wrong, and I like that. It's like really authentic. She has a good eye for colors, and she picks really nice patterns that she knits, so it's definitely worth to go over there. Magda, she's from Poland, and she's living in the UK, in England, on the countryside. And yeah, it's a nice podcast to watch. I'll put you a link down below if you want to go there. The other podcast that I really like to watch is the Rory's Journal. You probably know it. She's very famous. She's a knitwear designer from Argentina. I've just test knitted one of her shawls, the lightweight hipster shawl, and her designs are amazing, and her journals are really nice to watch as well. She sometimes does them together with her mother, I think it's Virginia, I think, and yeah, really nice podcast to watch. Interesting when she talks a bit about her designs and the background of it, and she's also got a company, Crocheters, and they do so nice project bags. Oh my god, she's got like really nice leather bags, and I'm actually tempted to get one for myself. I think next time I achieve like something big, I will get one for myself, a leather one, like a big camel colored, like a tan brown one. I've been dreaming of like a nice tan handbag for quite a while, and when I saw her project bags, I was like, actually I could use her project bag as a handbag and carry my half of my possessions with me around. No, they're really lovely bags. So yeah, these are my two recommendations, podcast recommendations. The other recommendation is just something that I already talked about, I think in my last episode maybe. Sorry, there's like a dog in the neighborhood and he's very vocal. I hope it's not too disturbing. Yeah, the last recommendation is one that I already talked about in my last episode, I believe, and it's all about The Handmaid's Tale. So we finally finished season number 4. We watched like up until like maybe 3 weeks ago or so, we watched season 4 and we were like, that's a really weird ending. It stops like sort of in the middle of the storyline, and why is there not like a better end to it? Well, little did we know that it was still like coming out every week. So the other day we logged back onto, I think we watched it on Apple TV. We logged back and it was like, oh, there's another episode available in season number 4. I thought we finished it. And then only then we realized, actually, okay, they're still coming out. It's like quite live. It's not, normally we're so used to nowadays to just binge watch something, right? So we just expect the whole thing to be there, and we can just watch it from episode 1 till 10 without having to wait. So no, they were still like coming out every week, and we just finished the 4th season now. So it was really good. It turned out much better at the end again. So last time I know I didn't sound that enthusiastic about the 4th season, but actually it's really good. Totally worth watching it. I've recommended it to a few friends and they all absolutely got hooked on it and loved it. And it's a really shocking series. So it's, if you think about what happens if in this series, it's like, it's absolutely shocking, and it really makes you think about a few things. So if you can endure a bit of not so nice scenes, you should definitely go for it. Yeah, that's it for this episode. I think I have talked long enough. I think this is going to be a quite long, very long episode. I really hope you enjoyed that. If I have forgotten anything, oh yeah, I wanted to talk about the little fail that I had the other day. So the Lamana hat, the hat that I knitted, I had actually a different pattern picked out for it. I had the Edith Piaf hat by Drops. That was the one that I wanted to knit, and I can't recommend that pattern. I almost finished it. And I did everything exactly like it said in the pattern. I followed it exactly. It was a horrible fit, honestly. I can't recommend it. Unless maybe I'm wrong and maybe I did something completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure I had the right thing on my needles. And yeah, some of the free patterns you have to be a bit careful, so it's totally worth sometimes to spend a bit of money on patterns, and I quite happily do that. I buy patterns all the time, but yeah, I was just going for a specific look, and that's why I went for that free pattern. But it didn't turn out well, so that's what I meant to talk about before. Yeah, so let me finish this episode. I've been talking for long enough. I really hope you enjoyed that episode. If you liked it, just give me a like down below. That would be very much appreciated. If you're not following yet, or you're not subscribed yet to his channel, that would be amazing if you would do so. Feel free to share the podcast with your friends, and if you have other friends who might be interested in entering the summer top knit along, yeah, tell them about it. It's still time to do that. You still have time to win all these amazing prizes that you can see there and there, and the lovely patterns from the great designers who are so generous to support this giveaway, this knit along. So yeah, I will see you very soon again, I believe. And until then, I hope you keep on knitting. Take care and bye bye.